Built behind me right here is a brand new elementary school that is currently in the process of being built. Now, I no longer work for the school district, so I won't have the same opportunities to see this building as I would have in the past. However, with that being said, I'm gonna still try and take a look at this building and see what we can figure. Obviously, it's not complete yet, it's still being built. Let's check out how it's going so far. I'm thinking by using a drone and potentially a long 600mm lens, we should be able to take a look at this new under construction elementary school. Let's get started with the drone. This is now where the video really begins. The drone is up in the air and we're going to go around the school, firstly in just a basic circle to go around the structure and see the majority of it from the outside before we get in a little closer into some more details of the building. To start off with some basic facts here, this elementary school is designed for 450 students and is scheduled to open in the fall of 2025. Whether that'll actually happen or not could be a different story, as with schools being constructed on time, that can sometimes not happen. This is an interesting building as it is actually not the same height throughout. The front of the building is 4 levels, tapering off to 3, and then I believe it may actually be only 2 floors at the back of it. Because of the weird section of land that this school is built on, it contours to that land in kind of some interesting ways. This school is the first of a couple different things in the school district. Firstly, this is the first 4th floor building built in the school district. Now, the previous newest high schools that were built in 2015 were also 4 floors. That was the high school I went to and the other built at the same time. However, on those structures, the 4th floor was only mechanical space. In the high school I went to, it was where the large fans were located. That was the smoke control, the smoke exhaust fans that were part of the fire alarm system to exhaust smoke from the atrium to provide safe egress. And in the other high school, it was a very large mechanical space. That was the 4th floor. This school is also a first in the sense that this is the first mass timber construction school in the school district, which is something quite different that I have not seen before for a school, and is definitely pretty interesting. That means that this school is not the typical concrete and steel construction, but all engineered lumber. So massive glulam sections of engineered lumber is what makes up the structural components of this school. Later on, I'll show some closer up pictures of these large wood components, but what it is it's engineered wood. So large prefabricated sections of lumber, just like how you would order your structural steel elements. It's the same thing but with lumber, so laminated and glued together structural wood components is what makes up this school. Now, with these buildings built out of mass timber construction, fire safety is always a topic that is brought up. And speaking off of the available information, the lumber that is used in these buildings is much more dense than what you would find in a house, and it actually does perform quite well as for its burn rate and its integrity in a fire. Now, of course, steel is a non-combustible material. However, these mass timber construction buildings still are designed to withstand the fire and still be safe in a fire through charring. So the wood will form a charred layer on the outside, which will help insulate and protect the actual structural integrity of that wood underneath. And of course, these buildings are a sprinklered building, just as any other new building would be, as well as you will still have your typical firewalls inside, and most of the building will be covered in fire-resistant materials such as drywall, or in this building you can see there's lots of glass in the building, so depending on how firewalls and separations are implemented, they could still be glass and protected with what's known as a water curtain sprinkler, where it will provide cool water on that glass in the event of a fire to keep it cool from breaking. That's something we've seen before, as many of these new schools are being built with lots of glass elements. Moving on from that, we can see on the roof of this building we have plenty of solar panels. That is something that was also done in the last two schools. However, it looks like it's being done to a further extent on these schools. A common misconception is that will help when the power is out. However, if it's anything like the last schools, the solar system is disconnected and shut down in a power failure because the generator is what will supply power, as it has to be able to work at night. It has to work in all situations and be able to provide enough power, and the solar panels aren't really designed for that purpose. They are more so to lower the reliance on the grid power and substitute some of that grid power for solar power, but it's not designed to be an emergency power source. That is what the generator is for, which this building will likely have as they are becoming more common as a legal source of backup power. It gets a whole lot more messy when you're trying to combine solar power with the generator power for a case of emergency power, as you have to synchronize those sources, and the other issue is the grid can have solar power pushed back into it. That is not something you can do with the generator, which is what would happen if the solar system was producing more power than which was being used. So in general, it becomes a big mess and something that is avoided. So anytime there's a power outage, solar power is disconnected, of course, also to prevent that solar power from being pushed back into the grid when the grid is down, which could become a very dangerous situation. So this is why it's not used as a backup power source as well. It's just a unreliable backup power source, as the power can be lost at night or on a gloomy day when it can't produce enough power, or in the winter when it's completely covered with snow. Moving on from the solar system, we are now looking in the side of the building where some of the windows are still yet to be installed. This building will have a metal siding from the images that I've seen from the architect, what this building is supposed to end up looking like. The styles are definitely changing, and of course that is subjective. You can see that this building, not quite as much as the last two, but it definitely does still have some interesting shapes. It's not a square boxy building. There's more different angles added to it. Here you can see, looking in the windows, some of that mass timber construction materials that are inside. And as far as that goes, I don't mind it. It definitely gives a nice warm feeling to the building, more so than steel and concrete will give. In my personal opinion, I think this school is getting to be a little bit too much for an elementary school. Being 4 floors tall just seems a little crazy for an elementary school, maybe for a middle or high school, but for young kids, it seems like a pretty big school. But it is the way it is really because of the land it's on. It's not much room to build a school, so it had to be built higher. As for the fire alarm system, we can most likely assume it will be Notifier, as that is what the school district has spec'd on the last few new builds. Ever since the bad experience they had with simplex systems, Notifier has been what has been specified to be installed in the schools. What panel that will be, whether it's the NFS series or the new Inspire series. And as for notification devices, that will be most likely System Sensor LED L series and FSP 951 smokes. And for pull stations, it could be BG12 LXs or the NMPS metal pull stations, I'm not sure. As for the electrical service into the building, here we can see the 3-phase overhead wires where they drop down on this pole to underground, so that's 14,400/25,000 volts. That will then go underground over here until it meets this pad mount transformer that is installed right here. You can see this is a 500 kVA transformer, taking the 14.4/2500 or 25,000, sorry, down to 347/600 volt. So it will be a 600 volt service before being stepped down to 208 inside the building is where that would be done. Here's another closer look at this transformer, 600 347 into the school. And as for where the electrical room and services will enter the school, well, I'm not exactly sure. However, I've kind of guessed that it's probably going to be down here on this side of the building where you can see those 3 sets of gray doors. I wouldn't be surprised if those were mechanical and electrical spaces with direct outside access. That would make sense and would be the most likely guess where that would be set up. Now, as for the generator, I don't know what is going to be done, if there even is going to be a generator. I would suspect there most likely would be, as it just makes the most sense for a new build like this, where you have all your electrical layout to do, and it's already all starting from nothing. Makes sense to do a generator. It's easier than battery emergency lighting to maintain, without going around doing all the batteries. It lasts longer, it works better, it's brighter, you can get way more out of it, and you can power other things with the generator. I'm not sure what's going to be done here for a generator, if there is though, as I don't see louvers on the side of the building where it would be likely to have a inside installed generator like what was done at the old high school that I went to. And I don't see an exhaust. So most likely, if there is a generator, there have been preparations made for conduits in the ground to head out to a generator installed somewhere outside the building. Here you can see, looking up the wall, just how tall this building is, with being 4 stories tall at the front and then 3 in areas. And towards the back here, it looks like it's down to 2. It's definitely going to be an interesting layout, and I hope one day maybe I could go ahead and get a tour inside the building once it's done and see how this ends up looking, as it does look to be a pretty open concept, at least in the front area. Not quite to the extent of the high school that I went to with the large atrium, as that was a huge space, but it definitely does look to be fairly open. So as far as smoke control systems, if this school will have one, well, I don't know as of right now. I'm going to assume not, because usually it's something that's avoided if possible, if there's other evacuation routes that don't require to cross that section of a really open area where you could have smoke rising, then that's usually ideal. But we won't know until it's done, until I get to actually see what this looks like inside. Here we're going up really high, taking a look at the land, and you can see just how weird this little skinny shaped lot is that this school is built on. We can see on the one side the solar panels have not been installed on this roof yet they will be installed eventually. You can see there is lots of rooftop equipment that has been, some of it's been installed. There's some mushroom fans, and there's some other fans that still look to be like they need to be mounted in their final spot. These red lines on the roof represent the area that you can't go without being tied off with a fall arrest system. You can see there is a permanent ladder or stair set installed to access the roof, and this outdoor space up here, I'm not sure if it will be set up for something that the school can use, or if it will be equipment space for something like large air source heat pumps, air to water heat pumps being installed on the roof there. That looks like it could be a spot behind these fences that are being built, would be something I can see air source heat pumps being installed. I'm not sure how this school is being heated and cooled, if it's air source or if it will be set up with a ground source system. But these up here make me think that maybe it'll be rooftop air to water heat pumps I can likely see being installed. Here's again that ladder for roof access, and to this side where the solar panels haven't been yet mounted. Moving over here, I'm not sure if we'd call this the front or the side of the school. By the way, this isn't a planned script that I'm reading. I'm just reading off what comes to my mind. And right here we have these windows where we can see into some of the hallways or walkways. This is where it looks to be a fairly open design in here. I'll move the drone in a little closer to see inside, but it does look like it will be fairly open in this area. And this looks like it'll be a balcony, like there will be a door installed on the left down there to access that outside space. And here you can see where it looks like these walkways will not go to the very edge, like there will be railings installed and it will be a fairly open space. So, you know, there could still be a smoke control system needed to be installed. There you can see this mass timber construction, and where I can see a doorway to what will be, I presume, an outdoor space. I'm not exactly sure where the main entrance will be, if it will be under what will be that outdoor space, or if it will be out front here towards where we're going, as this is the front of the school closest to the road. However, underneath this covered area there's stairs going up to where we just were at that balcony or patio. It's a very odd shaped bit of land, that's for sure. And right here is the tallest part of the school, where it looks to be a full 4 floors to me, which is going to be interesting for an elementary school, that's for sure. That's a lot of steps for young kids to do. So this is the bit of land beside the school that has not yet been developed, where I'm assuming this will be houses eventually. So the school will be boxed in here pretty tight between all houses on either sides. This is where I am parked up here to fly the drone. Earlier on in the construction of this school, there was a tower crane for the construction, but that has since been removed at this time. Just going to do a few circles around the car apparently before switching from the drone to the normal camera. Okay, I'm going to go on a walk with my actual camera now. I'm just going to keep the 24-70 lens, as I don't think I actually need to get that much closer. Because, I don't know, doesn't look like there's much going on inside there yet. After taking a look at it in real life, well, not through the eye of the drone, I don't think I can really see it much better than I could with the drone. I think that was really the best shot I'm able to get of it, well, other than going inside. However, I know most of the questions my viewers will have can't actually really get answered yet. It doesn't look like it's to that stage inside yet. You can see there's a whole bunch of development to be done up here. This will all be houses at some point. Very interesting looking school though. Not really sure if I like it, but that's what we got. So I'm kind of thinking that's going to be it for this one. Like, as I said, other than going in the school, I can only really make speculations for now. That's not to say I can't do more checkup videos on this project as I go. I think I probably would have mentioned it. Kind of snuck up on me. I've known forever they've been doing this school, and I drove past it every now and then. Came down the other day and looked, and like, oh my god, there's actually a school here now. So I think maybe that would be the plan, to do more updates, but you guys let me know what you think. I'll have to see what you guys think of this video. I'm pretty much as low as I want to go with the battery that's in the drone now. I do still have more, but I don't really know if there's a whole lot more I can show. Tried to get up to the windows, but it really doesn't look that far established in there currently. So I think for now, that's going to be it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. If you do like these and want to see more, make sure to let me know. And if you do enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section. And if you do enjoy the channel, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you are interested, I do have an Instagram account at Pickle700 for bonus content, stuff posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching.